Welcome, one and all, to the second round of the Sunday League Virtual World Championship. We're here in Belarus at the Brest City Circuit. Now, while the drivers are starting their qualifying laps, let me tell you about the progress made since last week. So the upgrades coming from the teams are Super Fast Racing have gotten on a grip upgrade, as have Phoenix Motorsports. Comedy Racing getting on their second speed upgrade, that's now upgraded to 7 for them, and SPM also with a grip upgrade. FVR and BAR failing their speed and turbo upgrades respectively. Velocity Racing getting their grip upgrade on THX and KRT failing speed and grip upgrades, and WTech succeeding with a grip upgrade. That's their second success of the season. In terms of driver tokens, Grandy goes with his other 5 tokens, so they'll be all spent by the end of this race, with still 6 races to go. He'll have 0 tokens left to spend, so we'll see how that strategy of going hard, bold, early on will work out for him. Other big spenders this race. Vlad somehow made it, has 4 tokens, his teammate Anti with 0. Phoenix and Sobel in PMP, not spending any tokens. J55, which is Julian, owner of Comedy Racing, not going for any tokens either. Rito going for 1, Het on 1, Lev on 3. I'll do the rest after we see the grid rundown. Here the drivers just finishing up their laps now, and it is Grandy on pole for the second race running. Levioso in the SPM lines up alongside him on the front row with Somehow I Made It taking 3rd place. Rito in 4th position, and Spooner in one of the WTech cars, he's in 5th place. Andres in 6th for BAR, good qualifying for him, and 7th place is the other WTech of Trixie. 8th place is Urists, he's in the Velocity car, last minute entry to the league as we know. Superfast also getting their other car in the top 10, as do Thunder X with Anti and X6 starting on the 5th row. Further down, Vlado 204 starting 11th for Nuri Racing, they've not had a very strong start to the season. Hepnek in the other SPM car, he's in 12th. Jake in the BAR in 13th, and Hernandi in 14th. Bluebell Boy takes 15th spot for FVR, he'll be hoping for a better race this time out. Julian 5545, he takes 16th in the Comedy Racing car, qualifying 12 places behind his teammate. Yoshi Josh 17th for Team Velocity, Goose near the back for FVR, but it's the PMP cars after Phoenix's retirement from esports team managing. They take 19th and 20th on the grid. Right, time to get ready for the race. Final rundown of teams. Neither of the FVR cars, I believe it said FGR cars, took either token here. Same with Jake and Andrews, they took 2 and 1 tokens respectively. Each VLO car took 1 token, so Urist in 8th place with very, very good qualifying in these circumstances. X6 takes 0 with Grandy taking 5, just like last time. X6 qualifies 10th, Grandy on pole. Vlado 2 with 2, Hernandi with 1 for the Nuri Racing team, and the WTech cars, Trixie with just 1 token, so 7th place qualifying is great for him. Spooder with 2 tokens, 5th place, even better. Time to get racing here in Brest. We're very nearly underway. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. We're underway here at the Brest City Circuit. Grandy starting from pole. Levioso on the Hazis, defending the pack early on. Can he try and close down Grandy here? They use a lot of their boost going to the first corner. Lev runs wide there. Somehow I made it up the inside. He does take the position off him. He's up into 2nd place. Andres up into 3rd. What a great start for him. Starting 6th on the grid, he's made up 3 positions already. Rito goes around the outside of Lev. It's not looking like a pretty start for Lev, but Spooner on the hards manages to make his way through. He finished on the podium last time out, and he'll be looking for another one today. Uris now attacking Lev. Vlado 2 and Hernandi making up some good positions in the Nuri Racing cars, up to 7th and 10th positions. Uris battling it out in the top 10 still. We've got a little packed attach there, back behind Goose, Anti and Het. In 70th, Uris, Bluebell Boy and Julian, and then Phoenix as our final 4. Grandy still leading the way, somehow made it in 2nd. They've broken away from the pack already. Grandy using 5 tokens today, somehow made it using 4. Andres not even using that many tokens there. I think it's just the 2 for him. No, just 1 token for him. So an amazing start for him in the BAR car. A reminder of how the BA car actually is. It's a car with only one acceleration upgrade, nothing else on the car, so he'd love to snatch a podium here today against the odds. Vlado 2, he's up into 4th position in the Nuri Racing car. That's incredible for him as well. Also not an amazing car. They're the only team to have got no upgrades on the car so far, but he's done amazingly for them so far as well. So he's got 2 tokens that he's using this race. Rito in 5th, he's also using 2 tokens. Spuda, then Eurus, Levioso, then X6 and Jake to the inside on Goose is your top 10. Goose battles it back. He gets back within the top 10. FBR looking for a points finish today after a dismal race last time. Trixie has dropped down from 7th to 11th position, and we've got Het, Jake and Hernandi battling in the background. Going to get very tight on the approach down to the start-finish line. Het on the mediums will have slower straight line pace, as will Antti on the hards. Antti loses position to Hernandi and loses position to Jake. Those AI really love that little cheeky dive bomb down into turn 3. We'll have a look back at the front pack to see if there's any battling going on up there. Andrew's still in 3rd place on the mediums too, so that's very, very good for him, because it'll give him much more longevity, and somehow I made it gets past Grandy here as well, so that is somewhat against the odds. Obviously THX didn't get that speed upgrade they were trying to get for this weekend, but in fairness, Grandy's still using 5 tokens, so he would still be expecting to win this race. Somehow I made it using 4, a definite contender to challenge Grandy today. I think there's a lot of luck that comes into it, but last time out, for instance, you saw Grandy using 5, nobody else using more than 2, and he's still got some pretty fierce competition up until the final stint, so we'll see how that works out for him today. But maybe with more people using more tokens, it will make it, well, more difficult. In 5th place we have Levioso. He's using 3 tokens today. He started on the hards, got swapped down, has recovered back into 5th. Vlado 204 somehow in 4th place. M. Andres in 3rd. Somehow I made it comes in to pit, as does Vlado 204. We'll see where they emerge. Somehow I made it just behind Levioso. He stays in 4th place. Vlado 2 less lucky, he's down into 8th, but we'll get an undercut. All those also running softs like Eurus, who's currently up in 7th position for Team VLO, but needs to stop pretty soon. He's going to battle him through there. We've got Andres in 2nd place now, so I made it is in, and Grandy in 2. So M. Andres leads the race for BAR. That's their first lap led this season in round 2. Somehow I made it on the hard strategy, so we're really expecting a straight fight between him and Grandy for the race win here. Grandy should have the upper hand theoretically, but you really can't write him off. That FBR car does have a grip upgrade. The THX has a top speed upgrade, and grip can really mean everything around this circuit. You would love a bit extra here. Somehow I made it for the race lead. Goes past M. Andres over the start-finish line, and he does take that race lead back. M. Andres struggling on his tyres a bit. Pardon me. He's now down into 2nd. He'll be pitting pretty soon. Levioso also yet to pit. 3rd place for the SPM car. 4th place is Grandy's at the moment. He needs to build his way back up through the pack, but it looks like somehow I made it has gotten a much more beneficial run from taking that undercut. Grandy needs to overtake Levioso. That's not going to be too difficult for him in fairness, but he still has to get past Andres and then reclaim that gap that is now built to about 4 seconds. Yeah, there we are, 4 seconds from Andres to somehow I made it at the minute, and it's only really going to grow here. Somehow I made it having to negotiate some back markers here. Phoenix comes in for a stop. Bluebell Boy does clip the pit wall on his way into. Andres finally into the pit lane after yielding position to Grandy. Levioso and Vlad 02 get past Spuda. Bluebell will come out ahead too, and Andres gets a lovely bit of clean air as this pack has detached. We've got Trixie in 7th place. He's a full 5 seconds off Spuda, his teammate, in 5th. Vlad 02 hunting down Lev will need to pit at some point pretty soon. Still hasn't pitted off those hards yet, and they're going to start to get into the pit window for that hard compound as he does go into pit now. Spuda in right behind him, and Lev will get through on him, but will he get through on Trixie? Trixie tries to use a bit of boost to get an overtake done. Can he manage it round the outside at turn 1? An amazing overtake for Trixie there. He does get the move done, but Trixie then loses the position out to Lev, who has just pitted for those softs like we saw earlier. Andres in 4th place. Vlado too needs to come into pit at some point pretty soon. He needs to lap Phoenix first, who is running second to last position. Grandy back there somehow made it come up to lap his teammate, and he should make it nice and easy for him. Doesn't look like they'll make it too easy in fairness, and Vlad needs to get past him through this pretty technical part of the track. And he go down the inside into Yoshi here. He does manage that and laps Yoshi as well. Yoshi with turbo comes back at him, causes him some problems in turn 1, as does Anti, that loses him. Crucial time to Grandy. Backmark is obviously a factor here. At a street circuit, they'll hurt you more than anywhere else because of how tight the track is, how tight the walls are to it, and he really just needs to get through this pack as quickly as he can. This would be the only thing that will swing it back into Grandy's favour in this early stage of the race, not being able to negotiate through these back markers. We've got Andres up into 3rd place now. It looks like Vlado 2 pitted that previous lap. He's down into 7th place. He's now on the mediums. Spooner in 5th still. Trixie making up that gap much more. We saw it quite distant before, a lot closer now. Vlado 2 having pitted. He's in 7th place. Can he try and overtake on Trixie pretty soon here? Trixie on hards that are starting to go off. Yeah, you just see a little bit of tyre wear through there. Can he try and make a move into one of these corners? No, he's just going to get stuck behind for the time being. We'll have a look back up to that battle for 4th place, because it looks like Lev is trying to get past Andres, but he's got a lot of back markers to overtake too, and it looks like he's going to go to the outside, coming into the first corner and into the first proper corner. He does manage to make the overtake, and he does manage to get ahead into 3rd place. Lev using a lot of tokens today, using 3 tokens. Andres using 2. Andres is using 1, I believe, and Spooner using 2. They are his main competitors for the time being. Back up ahead, Grandy has a little bit of a problem with some back markers there. Somehow made it still leading the race. He's got 1 lap older tyres than Grandy. He did take that undercut, and it did massively work out for him until he just got stuck behind that pack of back markers. And remember, any lapped cars that come up will always benefit the car chasing more than the car leading, because if somehow it gets stuck behind, let's say Jake here, Grandy will be able to use that to close up on him and get the slipstream. Whether if somehow it gets through, Grandy gets through, Grandy will generally be probably about 5. Their slipstream being a key factor here. Well, not the slipstream, I suppose, but the ability to overtake really is something that these AI really need to be able to keep each other behind. We've got an issue here. Urist, what's he done? Oh, it just looks like he's got a car failure here. I think his engine's going off. That's right, he's going to maybe try and pull over. No, he's going to carry on for the time being. We've got some cars causing a little bit of a pile up here. And we have got Euros who should be retiring from this race pretty soon. It looks like he's got a major technical issue at the moment. Jake needs to get through. Lev does come up to lap him. Oh, heartbreaking for him. It looked like he was gone for some good points after a very solid qualifying, and he's just not been able to manage that. Let's see if he'll come into the pit lane maybe over the course of the next laps. It'll be, if he stays out, certainly something for the front runners to try and get through. While we've been watching that, somehow it has pit out of traffic, or I suppose into a little bit more traffic for the moment, but he's now in 2nd place. Grandy leading the way still on his hards. He'll need to pit over the course of the next lap or so. Somehow made it in 2nd place, only a couple of seconds back, and well detached from them. Vlado too, one of our contenders for a podium today potentially. He's on the mediums. He'll be in the next few laps as well. Levioso chasing him down on the fresh new hards. He's a strong favourite for that 3rd position at the moment, although that front 2 is considerably ahead. We'll have to see how Lev does. We'll have a check back on Eurus as he fixes issues. No, still going slowly around the circuit, a bit like in Sunday League qualifying. 2nd place, Grandy comes into the pit lane now. He was just passed by Vlad there. He will come in for softs, but he is 6 seconds back and does have quite a few back markers to try and get through. He's got a pack of 4 or 5 there that he'll need to go through. Battle for 5th place at the moment. Andre's chasing down Spooner. Same tyre life, same tyre compound, so a straight fight here over the course of the next stint between the two of these fine racers. We've had Trixie, who's now pulled his way very admirably up into that battle in the top 7. It's good for him. He's using a token today, just one, and using one token, getting 6 points for 7th place. Well, you couldn't be too unhappy with that, could you? But 13 seconds back, X-Extend using 0 tokens today, but still running in a great 8th place. If he does score points here, does get 8th place, he would have already picked up a huge haul of points for the fact, considering that he has not used a single token so far. He's got his teammate coming up to lap here, should make it nice and easy for him. Yeah, just goes wide at turn 1 and allows Grandy through to chase down Vlad. Now, the thing that could play into Grandy's hands here, as we see Eurus, is he going to finally pit and fix those issues in the pit lane? Well, let's hope he can. No, he comes out still slow. I'm not sure what's wrong with him there. I'm not sure what's wrong with him at all. That's tragic for the racer there. The issue, obviously, not to be able to be solved in the pit lane, so he will just have to try and pick up his points in the final positions, and Andy in 17th, struggling to get past him a little bit there. Somehow made it still with the lead. Yeah, so the thing that comes into Brandy's hands is the fact that those softs are going to be so much grippier, so much faster to start with than the mediums, but having a look at them, they're already reaching the point where they might not be ideal. Somehow made it obviously coming in a lap or so before Grandy will have relatively similar number of laps to the next pit, because although the mediums last longer, of course, they will be older, so he'll need to come in pretty soon. It's just about whether he can maintain track position over Grandy. Lev in 3rd place, he has got hards that will last him a little bit still. Spooner in 4th and Andres in 5th. Jake in 6th, intensely battling, Trixie in 6th, intensely trying to get past Jake, who's down in 12th, and won't let him pass too easily. We've got Vlad in 7th, also trying to get past Yoshi Josh. Again, this is a tricky circuit, we're trying to get through on back markers. Rito in 8th, Hemanek in 9th spot. Great finish for the SPM, that would be 3rd and 9th this race. X6 in 10th position. Have a look back ahead. He's being lapped by his teammate, but also needs to try and chase down Rito in the COR car. He's right ahead of him, and he hits the pit wall. Rito hits the pit wall, Heads able to get through on him here. Now, remember, the COR drivers in this race using 0 and 1 tokens, not a lot, but they do have 2 top speed upgrades that they will carry through for the rest of the season. So, they haven't been able to, as it stands, make an advantage or make a huge advantage over the fact that they've got those upgrades at the minute. Having 2 in the same category will obviously seriously help you, but Brest is not really the track where you'll be wanting top speed. Hence Julian being down in 17th and Rito battling just inside the points. He's in 9th place, X6 in 10th. Andres lapping him. Andres still running a very respectable 5th place, having got that acceleration upgrade on the car, still just using 1 token. Sobel up from the very back of the grid into 11th place. Goose in 12th, and Yoshi Josh gets past him down the straight on fresher mediums than Goose's hards are. Anti behind, battling in that pack of 3. Can Anti get past Goose? We've seen these two battling out in the boardroom for Sunday League Real. We'll see how they do in Sunday League Virtual out on the track, racing each other. Jake in the other car in 15th spot, and we'll go back up to the top of the grid. At the minute, you're still with those issues. I want to see if I can change this slightly just by dialing down his speed, getting to retire the car maybe. I'm not sure quite what will fix that, but let's hope that it can be fixed. Vlad pitted out into the race. 1st place is still for him. Grandy also having pitted onto the mediums. 2nd place for him. Same strategy, same tyre life. Crucially, a 3-second gap. Remember that 1st place takes a quite large 7 points more than 2nd place here. We'll see how Grandy can get past Eurus. Yeah, that's slower speed really, meaning Eurus is less of a threat to be lapped, so just kind of at those corners particularly have to move out the way. We've got Lev 8 seconds back. He's in 3rd place. He's stopped. He's come out on those softs. He gets held up by Eurus a little bit. We'll see if Eurus can try and pit here. In fact, we'll watch him through the pit lane. No, we just drive straight through it. How unfortunate for him. Flag coming up to lap his teammate for the 2nd time. Grandy still in 2nd, Lev in 3rd. Now we'll have a look at any action here. We've got Andres and Vlad side by side. Andres on the softs. Can he get through? He can. Fresher softs than Vlad's mediums. Meanwhile, ahead, Vlad's teammate Nandi down in 18th spot as well. We've got a bit of an odd situation there as well, because Bluebell Boy, who's in 19th position behind Nandi. We'll have a look here. He is 15 seconds back, so I'm not quite sure what's caused that. Nandi having stopped 5 times, so maybe that KRT car really chewing through its tyres. Eurus still in dead last for the time being. A pretty crippled car there, not having any real drive power in it. He's a few hundred seconds back from the car ahead now. Grandy in 2nd place still, so Eurus our first official DNF of the season, as he won't be classified in this race and obviously won't be eligible to score points, not being inside the top 10. Lev, he's in 3rd. That's looking pretty comfortable for him at the moment. He's on a very similar tyre strategy to Spuda, who's 7 seconds back in 4th. We'll have a look. Any action zones have got a battle just outside the top 10. Sobel and X6 as well, and Jake Brad, it looks like. Jake trying to get through on X6. Can he just dive down the inside? He can, but X6 fights it back to the outside, doesn't have enough grip through that sharp right-hander. Jake moves up into the top 10. X6 would love more points considering his no token usage this race, but it might not be coming his way. He does get back past on the main straight with a little bit of turbo, but nothing doing in terms of catching up to the cars ahead. Hepanek being 8 seconds ahead of him for the time being. Right, battle for the lead is back. Randy and Somehow I Made It going at it here for the race lead. Same age of tyre, same compound of tyre. Grandy looking for a move to the outside, can't quite manufacture one. They're coming up to Eurus here. They nearly split it, they don't quite. Grandy just gets a little bit of difficulty with trying to lap him there, and does lose about a second to Vlad. Trouble with the back markers there. Eurus unable to pit is why he's going so slowly, it seems. They do have the limiter stuck on. He's not able to actually come into the lane. We have 12 laps left of this race. Each of these cars, Vlad and Grandy, will look to make one more stop. Now this will be crucial because a win for Grandy could see him in very, very good stead to try and win the World Championship and lead every round. If he could win last race, which he did, and win this race, which he just might do, but he needs to get past Andres first. Andres in 5th, they're coming up to lap him just for the first time at the moment. These two cars are in a league of their own though. Andres trying to unlap himself, it looks like he is, and Grandy, just gets a little bit squirrely there, does go to pit anyways. He'll try and pull the undercut on Somehow I Made It, who's coming up to big traffic here. Eurus swept aside, as he often is, but he needs to get through these back marker cars. It's going to be a great strategy from Grandy. We'll follow, see if this undercut will really come off for him. Little train of cars there, the SBMs get stopped by Eurus going slowly on the straight. Somehow made it through most of the traffic. Surely he'll be in this lap. No, he stays out for another one, so it'll be a double lap undercut by Grandy, but it looks like Vlad will try and take the softs to the end. I think he'll try and stretch those to the checkered flag. He's now just got 4 seconds on Grandy. He'll come out well behind, but with a decent bit of clean air. I mean, as much as he can really manage around the tight street circuit with a lot of lapped cars. Grandy beautifully puts in a lap on both of those drivers that he just got through on. Lev looking very, very good competition, not really being challenged by anybody. 10 seconds to the car ahead, 10 seconds to the car behind, and he looks pretty comfortable from 3rd place at the moment. Spuda will be very happy with 4th, another solid result for the W Tech team. Vlad in 5th place at the moment, Trixie in 6th, Andres right behind, challenging him. We've got Vlad there still. How is Vlad doing? Has he stopped? He has, and he's on the mediums, but he's 5 seconds back from Grandy, and he does have a good few lapped cars to get through. Grandy just coming across the start-finish line now. Vlad needs a very, very good drive in these final few laps. We'll have a look at the traffic radar. It's all plain sailing, smooth sailing for Grandi up ahead until those lap cars on the right down there, which will take him a good few laps to get to. So currently it looks like a huge challenge that somehow made it is being presented with. X6 tries to defend there. You are allowed to defend as a lapped car, hence why we see cars getting stuck behind Eurus. Not really much point for him to defend at the moment, but he does get in people's way still. He has closed that gap up though. Grandi getting to that lap traffic very soon. Just some of them there. It does get a bit more clean air ahead, but we'll have to come up to that battle. There we've got Andres still challenging Trixie, it looks like, down, just being lapped at the moment. Andres, Trixie, Rito in 8th place. He's it all again. Lev with a big shunt there into the wall. Maybe that was a backmarker caused incident. Vlad chasing down Grandi, and now he doesn't have any back markers in a race that's been dominated by how quickly you can get through these lapped cars and the randomness aspect of it. We do have a straight battle between these cars, actually now one car between them, and it is Vlad's teammate Antti. He will need to get out the way for the team. Antti running in 14th place, not looking to pick up any points at the moment. Eurus tries to pit again. They can't fix those issues that he has at the moment. Big problem for him. Last place and DNF technically here, having not completed 90% of the race distance, or at least I don't think he will. Vlad now coming up to chase down Grandi, less than a second back. Yeah, Eurus a good 15, 16, 17 laps back from the leader. He won't be classified in this race. Straight fight here to the end, 4 laps remaining. It's a privilege to see such a close fight for the win. Can Vlad chase him down? His tyres are significantly fresher, 2 laps younger than Grandi's. They've both stopped 4 times. They've both been on pretty similar strategies, just trading overcuts and undercuts with each other. Now is somehow made its chance as they come up to the final corner. Eurus attempts a pit again. Julian might try and get in the way here. They've got great top line speed in that comedy racing car, but not much grip. Julian does manage to unlap himself on Vlad. He can do the same on Grandi. He's going to try it, and he does get back through, being on fresh softs. These leaders coming to the end on their mediums. Vlad closing up even more. Julian now in the way of both of them. He got out of the way of Grandi. He's now in the way of Vlad again. That's lost him crucial time, a lot of time there. He's now going to be a second and a half back, or just over a second back, as they come round to start the penultimate lap. What was looking like a great final stint for Vlad once he cleared the back markers might just have been thrown out the window by the German driver here, who needs to get out the way to allow Vlad in through to get Grandi, chase him down and take that win. It will come down to the very final lap. He does get past now. He's going to chase him down into the final corner, and starting the final lap of the Grand Prix, they get stuck behind Eurus. Both come out pretty unharmed, but Vlad very close behind now. He will close up to Grandi here. Julian back to the inside. Will get in the way again. Somehow it needs to clear him. Yet again, he's caused him so many issues. This race, the German on the Russian, and he does drop back again. He looks so close to start the lap, and now he just needs to get back through. He does get back through now. Julian will fight this again. Vlad needs him to get out of the way. It comes down to the final corner. Will Vlad go for an overtake? He tries one. Can he get better drag to the line? Not quite. Just by a fraction of a car length. Grandi is your winner here in Brest. And all thanks to Julian. That really came down to the very last second of the race. An incredible race. Lev hits the wall there, but he's not in any danger of losing position to Spuda behind. Vlad will pick up a very respectable 5th place for Nuri's first points of the season. Looking at the results screen, Grandi takes the win and fastest lap by 1/20th of a second. That's no time at all, but it does earn him 7 extra points. Levioso 3rd place, very solid for him, but over 20 seconds off those race leaders who are just in a league of their own today. Spuda in 4th for WTech, his teammate in 6th, great points all for them. Vlado2 splits them, 5th place for Nuri Racing Team. Andres in 7th, despite using just 1 token today. Good points for him as well. Rito in the comedy racing car in 8th place. Hekmanek, double top 10 finish for SPM. Peck in 9th place, and X6 in 10th in the other THX Yoshi. Josh just outside the points there, Team Velocity. Sobel in 12th, great recovery for him and Phoenix Motorsports. Jake Bragg in 13th and Antti in 14th. Goose in 15th place, Hanandi in 16th, Julian in 17th. Disappointing for him with a good car. Bluebell Boy takes 18th position, again not a good race for him. Phoenix 19th, only ahead of the DNF car of Eurex Tourist. Very last position. Very entertaining battle for the win here, and Grandy takes up the second win in 2 races for the season so far, taking him 51 points in the championship. Will that be enough to win overall? We'll have to see as the other 6 races progress. But for now, bye-bye.